Hello, My Lead System Pro. This is Roxana Hanna, My Lead System Pro's Chief Communications Officer at my favorite time of the month where we introduce our member of the month. And we have Patricia Sweeney, August member of the month. Can you believe it's August already?
No, absolutely not. This year is flying by.
I know, it's flying by fast, and it must be flying by really fast for you because you're really active, right? I mean, so I'd say for the past few months, your face, your name just keeps popping up inside My Lead System Pro's Facebook group and on all of our training webinars. So tell me, first of all, congratulations.
Thank you very much. I'm very, very proud and excited to have been chosen.
Well, you know, you did it. You made it happen because of your involvement, because of really how you've put yourself out there as a leader inside of our Facebook group. I mean, we're watching, right? We're looking for people like you. And inside the Facebook group, you're answering people's questions, you're active and you're involved, and of course your leadership rank is growing. So tell us, tell us about how busy you've been inside of My Lead System Pro. What made that shift for you to start doing something, and how long you've been in, and then we'll get into a couple of other things. So, like, what happened to where you said, you know what, I'm going to do this?
Well, I actually just started in MLSP on My Lead System Pro in January. And I came in the middle of January, and the mastery membership situation, you know, that whole amazing program came out like literally a week after I had signed up, because I came out with the $2 trial, you know, like so many people do, and then I had upgraded, like I think like within like 3 hours I had upgraded to gold, and I was like, wow, this is amazing, everything is here. And I like, you know, you like have that moment where you just feel like synergistic with everything, and it was that moment. Like, you know, you get in the Facebook group and you're like, oh my gosh, these people are like speaking my language, because you feel like you, anyway, so that's how I felt when I found the group and when I found the system. And, you know, I mean, obviously probably like January and early February, I wasn't really active. I was more watching.
Yeah.
And then because, I'm a little technical, you know, and I could tell that there were a lot of people in the group that were, you know, sometimes I remember when I was learning how to do some things online that it would take me hours and hours and hours to find the simplest answer to something. And I wish there had been a place for me to go just to ask a question and get the answer, you know, within a few minutes. And so I just wanted to start helping people get past those things, because I know if, you know, if people don't have hours to spend figuring stuff out, they're going to get frustrated and they're going to quit. And I didn't want to see anybody do that when I knew that I had the answer to help them. So really, yeah, so I mean, that's kind of why I started, you know, getting into the group and helping people. And I like just being in there anyway, because the energy is great, and as far as being on the webinars, you have to.
Yeah.
You know, if you're going to do it, you have to immerse yourself in the language and expose yourself to the language and the leader and the mindset of the people that are doing it. And, you know, that's really what My Lead System Pro is all about. So, you know, if you understand what you have your hands on when you're part of the, you know, community, and you have access to the products and the tools and everything that we get with being part of the system, then you have to plug in. And I don't know, everything's waiting for you if you plug in and take action.
Right. So for the people who don't feel that synergy, would you say that, you know, your best advice right now is just plug in and just sort of get to know the language? And I mean, just for you, why do you think you felt that synergy if you're not technical? Because most people feel the synergy when they're technical. Is it because of your business background? Go into some of the stuff that you were doing before you came in, before you came online. Like, what brought you all here?
Well, okay, so for me, you know, my husband and I have a sign company, which is, you know, construction industry. We've had that for 15 years, and I mean, we've had really, really good years, you know. We were living the life, and we had all these property and all that stuff that you want to do. But there was no consistency, and I had no control over it. So obviously, people always, well, I want to be a business owner. Well, being a business owner offline is so different from doing stuff online in the respect that you can work your butt off offline. We do all the right things, but then people don't pay us. When you're in the online environment and you have digital products, people have to pay you before they have access to what it is that they want of you. You know, there's billions and billions and billions of people online, and, you know, when you look at it like that, you're like, all I needed like $1 from like 1 million of them. I could do that.
So you came in and you're like, because you had been through some harder times before with your offline business, people not paying you for stuff you did. Yeah, that happens. I've heard of that. Yeah. So this, you're just like, interesting. Interesting. So perspective. It's always about perspective. So everything is the same except for what's in a person's head. That's the difference between everything. Yeah.
I mean, because cool. I think they're like, well, you know, if you have a business, if you do $1 million, oh, that's great, but are you really making $1 million? And in an offline business where your profit and loss comes in, we might. I mean, there were years we billed out $5-6 million, but that doesn't mean that one, we collected $5 or $6 million, and two, probably 70% of everything you bill is out the door to expenses. So there's just no leverage, you know, and if we want to make more money offline, we have to work 20 times harder. Where online, you can really implement systems and tools to work smarter instead of harder, and then you don't have to worry about doing that collection on the back end or people filing bankruptcy on you, and, you know, it's just, I could go on for hours about how it's not fun. So, and this is a lot more fun. I really, really like this, and that's another thing. You know, if you like it, it's fun. Like, I'll be sitting on my computer for hours, and I was on the MLSP Hangout the other night, and we were there for like 4 hours.
Right.
And, like, the hangout, like,
there too.
Yeah, you were totally there. But it was fun. It was fun. And when you implement that, you know, and that part's there, then it's just not work anymore. So my husband's like, are you still in the street? I'm like, yep, sure am.
So have you been in network marketing before, or is this your first time?
No, I piddled a little bit about 10 or 15 years ago, where I piddled at it for 3 years, where I had a tiny bit of success, but not really, and I was spending more than I was making, and I was doing events and going and doing home meetings and blah, 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 blah. I didn't actually get into Miley System Pro because I was in network marketing. I mean, because literally it was 10 years ago that I had even looked at it. It was hard, you know. Like, I was doing all the work, but it wasn't profitable. And it honestly never occurred to me that you could do network marketing online until I found Miley System Pro, which I only found because I was looking for good affiliate products. And I had made some WordPress sites, and I had figured out how to implement AdSense, and I was making a little bit of money every other month or so, but it wasn't anything significant, and I knew that I was missing the big picture. So I was actively searching for the big picture, and I found the Petoslitos and, got in with their, anyway, so that's how it happened. I'm like, oh, this is the big picture. I'm like, I found it, yes.
Interesting. So what is your favorite strategy for marketing?
Well, I like them all. But the most effective that I have found for me, because you can be proactive with it immediately, is on Facebook. Because what we do is connecting with people, and even just getting people into the system for them to see what it's about, being able to have a conversation with them, you can do that. I am in control of how many conversations I have when I'm on Facebook. So. If you want to rate advance, if you want to get people in, if you want to build your residual income, that is a way to take control of it. So I would say probably the same situation applies on LinkedIn or some other places as well, where people, you have to go where the people are congregating. And there are people on Facebook. So for me, that's my favorite because it's something that's tangible for me, and I can control the results of that. I do also do a bit of YouTube and blogging, of course, because I knew how to do WordPress sites and stuff. But there's a lot to learn, for SEO and backlinking and da-da-da-da. So I would definitely recommend someone starting is go somewhere they can maybe control the outcome a little bit more.
Right, that's great advice. And as far as the support at home, you know, a lot of people have a lot of struggles with not being supported by their spouse or partner or family. So how was that situation for you? And have you met any people since you've been building who kind of struggle with that and look to you for advice, or are you lucky in that sense?
Well, my husband, well, because we have a brick and mortar business, you know, his opinion at first, but he's seeing where my Miley System Pro information and the checks come in and now the direct deposits come in and they're paying the mortgage. And he's like, wait a minute.
That is always, it's always when the money finally says, well, that's the proof. You know, that's the proof.
Exactly. So I'd have to say from January until probably April, I guess, like early April, when I was really just kind of still like figuring it out, and I was like at the computer like, I know there's something here that I'm missing. Let me just watch another webinar, you know. So for me, like, yeah, he wasn't really supportive, but, you know, we've been married for 13 years, and I was just of the mindset, I really didn't care, you know.
I can basically do whatever I want anyway. I've been married for 13 years. I can do it. Pretty much.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
Well, so for someone who's in that situation, though,
yeah.
I think that you have to show them the vision of what you're trying to do. And I invited him. I'm like, look, come on the webinar. I'm like, if you're wanting to know what I am doing I'm in the East Coast. So from 9 p.m. to midnight every Wednesday, if you want to know what it is, come listen. And I'm like, if you don't get excited about YouTube marketing and SEO, I am really sorry for you. But I am digging it. So this is where I'm going to be Wednesday night, you know?
Right. Well, and the thing is, the beauty of Miley System Pro and people who stick with it for a while, they can apply the internet marketing information education to brick and mortar businesses. I mean, that's gonna it's not going to be just for it's going to be for the family business too.
It is, and that's what, like, actually my website and what I market to on my YouTube channel and stuff, that's what I say. I tell people, look, I understand that a lot of what you're hearing is kind of geared towards network marketing because, you know, that is, you know, what the system was originally built for. But guys, if you wanted a degree in online marketing, you know, this is where you need to be to get that. Because that's how I got into the internet at all, was because I wanted to build a website for our brick and mortar company.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I like started figuring out, and I started, you know, following all these like big time bloggers and all these other people that were making all this money online. I'm like, how are they doing that? That sounds amazing, you know, because we were, you know, we had our struggles. And I mean, like, seriously, in 2008, it was bad. Like, we didn't know what was going to happen. And that uncertainty is scary. So, you know, we have 3 kids. I'm like, I don't want to go through that again, ever. So I had to find a better way, and this is the better way. So, I mean, gosh, with the 100% profit products we have, I'm like, anybody can make money with this. It's crazy.
Yeah, 2008, 3 kids. Now there's no looking back whatsoever. Yeah, it's in control. You're in control of it. That's beautiful. I love to hear that. What would you say, okay, tell us as we wrap up here, what would you say to the newbie marketer? Newbie marketer, what's your piece of advice that you would give them?
Don't use the word overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Okay, because I hear that a lot. It's a bad mindset to be in. It is overwhelming, but don't let yourself get overwhelmed. Don't be overwhelmed. Don't dwell in that place. Because in 2008, I realized I needed to be online. If our company was going to beat out the competition, I needed to be online. So I figured out what that meant for brick and mortar. But what I did was I saw the potential of what some other folks were doing online, but I didn't understand. I didn't understand it. I didn't have a big picture. I didn't see the big picture of what that could really mean. And so for 4 years, I played at figuring out what being online and actually earning money online meant. And at the end of 2012, this was my New Year's resolution, that I was going to be one of those people in 2013 that had choices. That was what I was going to do for me and my family. And that's, I mean, like literally, I don't even remember how I stumbled across, you know, Bill and Michelle's stuff, and then I found some other leaders' stuff, and I just resonated with them, and I reached out to them, and they were so real and so wonderful, and I was like, this is it, you know, and so don't be overwhelmed because it's a lot of information. So that was your question. I'm sorry, I get off on my tangent.
No, that's excellent. That is absolutely fabulous. Absolutely fabulous to hear. You are well on your way.
I'm excited. You know, like when like people, if you're watching this and you've ever been in a place where you're scared about where's the mortgage going to come from next month, you know, and I mean, I'm a little different because I was an employer, but if you've never been there, that's almost scarier than being an employee because it's not just me, it was all the 30 people working for us we had to worry about, and they get paid before we get paid. So when we get shafted, we get a bad deal, you know, stuff happens, we don't get paid. And we don't have, after 2008, like we had all this real estate that we had to take a loss on and get rid of it. And I mean, it was rough. And so we don't have like the savings or any of that. And I was just tired of that. I was just, you know how, when you hear the webinar, when Brian says stuff like your pain of where you're at has to be greater than the pain of getting to that place you want to go. I was there. So it's kind of sad. I'm sad that people have to get to that place to just decide I'm not doing this anymore. This is not going to be my life anymore. And so anyway, that's where I was, and I'm just excited that I found the system. And I say thank you. I say thank you to the people that share it, because if you're afraid of sharing what this is, you're being selfish. Because if Bill and Michelle hadn't shared it, I wouldn't have found it, and I wouldn't be where I am today. And where I'm going is no place that I thought I would be able to be. You know, I couldn't even fathom it. Brian said on that 4-hour hangout we were all the other night, guys, we didn't even realize what we had our hands on when we created this mastery system. And I was like, amen, you're preaching to the choir. I was like, because it is serious, guys. It's serious. You could turn a 6-figure income in 6 months if you got busy. You could do it, because that's what I'm doing. I'm working on it.
There you go.
So anyway, I'm excited, in case you can't tell.
Yeah, it's exciting. It is exciting. How can they find you online? What's your blog address?
My brand is snagalife.com. And so facebook.com/snagalife. And if you're seeing me, Snagalife. I want to teach people how to do that. And part of what I'm doing there is showing people how to take a brick and mortar and take it online. Like that's something that I want to help people do, because it's a huge market. People need to know this.
Excellent. Absolutely. Fabulous. Absolutely fabulous. So Snag a Life. Get over there and find out how to snag a life. That's awesome. I love that. I saw that on your emails and everywhere. I thought that's really great, so I'm glad you mentioned it again. So, well, congratulations on August Member of the Month. We are proud to have you as part of the MLSP family. I know the community appreciates you, and we're looking forward to seeing more of you on the inside of Miley System Pro.
Thank you guys so much. Just so happy to be here. And the future's bright, and I appreciate everything that you guys do and put together and do for the community, because if you haven't figured it out, folks, this is here for us to change our lives. So just take advantage of it and get to work. And I know I've got work to do now, so let's help do it.
Right on. Thank you so much, Patricia. It's great talking with you.
You as well.